Hey everyone, welcome back to Vibes and Vines. I'm Kira Montalasi, a plant mother and a music lover, and today I am here to talk about an album that I am so excited about. If you have not already, go ahead, click that subscribe button, click the little notification bell to be notified every single time I post, because music, plants, okay, and then comment and like if you're feeling real nice. But now that I've hyped you up and you are now as excited as I am, let's get down to it, where I talk about Kehlani's most recent album, Blue Water Road. The first song of the album is going to be Little Story, and off bat it's going to be very light, but it's going to set tone or the theme of the whole album. When I listen to it initially, it feels like an era of rebirth, and it feels like she almost got baptized in newness, not in the religious sense, but just like energetically. And the instrumentation towards the end is it's like very classical, like nice violins, and it really just eases you into the next song, which is a little more upbeat. And that is going to be Any Given Sunday featuring blxst. Now I assume, because it's blxst, I assume that's how you pronounce it. I know, me being in the music realm, I should probably like research that beforehand, but Mercury retrograde, I'm just trusting that the universe got my back in the pronunciation department. So in her song Any Given Sunday, it's dope because I appreciate the different aspects of Kehlani. And in this song she's like, don't get it wrong, honey, I'm a peaceful ass person, but I can still get it down when it needs to be got down. Talking about, are you working, baby? Are you working tonight? Because I got a brand new bag and I'm trying to spend it on you. I'm trying to see you shake that thing. So it's really nice, and I feel like people who may kind of be weary of Kehlani's new approach and kind of where she is and how she sounds different sonically, it's kind of a good, like, okay, like, I'm here, but this is still a part of me. Like, just because I moved on to this portion of life doesn't mean that that part of me no longer exists. It's really a pregame song. It's a song where you can just get lit to if you're driving home from work, or if you're driving to a function, somewhere like that. The next song is going to be Shooter Interlude, and obviously it's an interlude, and it's really interesting because, like I said, it just proves my point to how many points she's hitting in different aspects of her life. So first she's like, listen, I've changed, I'm acknowledging everything. Then she went from don't forget who I am, honey. Then they came to a place where they could talk and vent about everything that they've gotten asked and the different pedestals they've been put on since they've been in the limelight. If you don't know, Kehlani was on America's Got Talent when she was like a young teen, like a young teen. So they've kind of always just been up there and had to process shit. For her, it's a lot, because for her, she became so much at once. Like, it's like, okay, like, I'm the advocate for so many different groups now, but not a self-imposed advocate. It's like imposed by society, and I don't know what to do with all this shit. In an interview with NME, I'm gonna read from here, regarding what I just talked about, Kehlani said, I think that as artists we can have toxic gratitude. Sometimes we can be toxically positive. It was nice for me to have a moment where I could share some of the bullshit that I've experienced sometimes. It doesn't take away from my gratitude or how happy I am to be here and how blessed I am. In the song she touches on, like, can I borrow some money? Could you call me an Uber? My mama needs surgery and my son needs a scooter. It's like, shit, I wish I could help you with all things. Like, in an ideal world, I would love to help all these people, but it's like, I'm famous, but I'm still a person. And I feel like it's really important as a society, and it's great that artists like Kehlani do this, because when you're emotional and you vent, it can simultaneously set boundaries for other people, because now they know how you feel. So I feel like hopefully at least some people kind of get a grasp on what they're saying and their message and apply it. Her fourth song is going to be Wish I Never, and I'm not going to get into this too much because That's not my department. I am not E-News or extra. But I'm just gonna say, if you've been paying attention in the public eye, you can probably figure who this song is about if you listen to it. But Wish I Never, the title in itself kind of explains where it's going in the first place. And in this song, they're just talking about, I wish I never was involved in this bullshit. Because, you know, there's relationships where you're like, okay, I see why I was in that situation. I can understand. And then there's those situations, those relationships where you're like, I could have easily prevented myself and followed my gut to not be in that relationship, but I did. So it's kind of like you gotta like swallow it and be like, I didn't have to. I could have learned that by like 2 less intense relationships compared to 1 chaotic one, but I shall take this L. I shall take this lesson and I'm gonna apply. Some of her lines in the song are, but I usually got the game in a headlock. Seen a bullet coming, but I didn't dodge it quick enough. Like, girl, same. I feel you. I think it's actually good that everybody has these really intense moments, because it's like, you know what? Now I know what chaos feels like inside, so now I know what to avoid in another person. And if my body's freaking out, if I'm getting butterflies, it's probably not that person. Let me tell you, if you're curious, just because you get butterflies, that could very well be, and it's almost always in this case, anxiety. When you really fuck with somebody, like, it feels like, vroom, like it's effortless. You don't have to try. So just if anyone was wondering, if you're like, oh my god, I get butterflies over this one person, stop and analyze. Because your body, when it's comfy, it'll be comfy. It won't give you anxiety. So think on that. By the end of Wish I Never, it's kind of at the point where you're like, okay, they're spitting. Yeah, this is a good turning point. The 5th song is going to be Up at Night featuring Justin Bieber. It's a good pairing on this song because both Kehlani and Justin Bieber seem to be at a state with their significant others, their partners, where they're really happy. There's a part where Kehlani writes, "You think it's calculated, baby, I'm just not that clever." Like, I wish I could claim that I orchestrated all of this, but that's just how meant to be it was. At least Kehlani is in a relationship where it's really so seamless. And when you meet somebody that feels like they're you, and it's just like you're talking to another version of yourself, but with different perspectives, it just kind of makes you look around and you're like, am I in the Truman Show? Like, is this the Kira Show? Is this the Kehlani Show? Is this the Danny Show? It's like on a different spiritual level where you're just kind of voom, 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 voom. The 6th song is going to be Get Me Started featuring Sid. Get Me Started is really just about, you know, that point in a relationship where you kind of feel it fizzling out, and you try to address it, but nothing quite syncs up because you really don't want to hurt the other person. It's kind of like when someone's complaining and then you're like, okay, let's do something about it. Let's problem solve. And then they're like, meh, I don't feel like it. And it's like, okay, well then what the fuck are we doing here then? What's happening? This album's hitting on all the points, like the little things you think in your head and the little things that kind of click as you're getting out of a negative relationship and how it feels like when you get into a super, super healthy one. This song is like, really, if you're talking about leaving, if you're threatening to leave, if you're like obviously texting somebody in front of me, then just leave. Like, there ain't no point in this. There's no point to try to salvage. So it's really something we all experience, and it's hella relatable. The 7th song, or interlude more rather, but also counted as a song, is going to be the Everything interlude, or just Everything interlude. And it's gonna touch base with the first song, Little Story, and that it really does have classical undertone, violin, bass, instrumentation. A lot of the times when we consume media in any aspect, it's really like boom, 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 boom. It allows the audience to digest the message better and to think for a second like, oh shit, that's what they were saying in that message. Okay. The 8th song is going to be More Than I Should featuring Jessie motherfucking Reyes. She is like the on the fact, that's a stamp. That's not the sound stamps make, but nonetheless, on like the fact that it's like, oh, kind of like if Meg came on, it's like Hot Girl Certified. This is Fuck Them Certified just because of Jessie Reyez. This song is really about like, listen, I'm in a shitty relationship and I'm not happy. So is it really that bad that somebody else who's giving me all I need and is showing me all these green flags, if I do something with it? It does tie back into Get Me Started. So I feel like Get Me Started is the thought process. More Than I Should is like the carrying out and like the end of the should I like thought process. So I really like that. It's cool. I like the different, so it's like thought, space to think with the interlude, and then More Than I Should is like the, okay, I thought about this shit and yeah, I can't anymore. The 9th song is my favorite song, and it is going to be Altar. And this song really touches on connection with spirituality and how integral it was for their healing process, just to be able to realize that ones who have passed on, friends, families, ancestors, just spirits that are along with us on our journey in this life, how they can be there for you at any time, but you just have to set up their space. When people die, they're still right there. It's just energy cannot be created or destroyed, honey. It can only transform. So they're still right here. It's just we got a veil that we can't see at the moment, but we can feel. And I think it's a point where Kehlani really realized that death isn't the end. Like, I don't have to be in constant mourning. I could be with them. I could bring food to your altar. We can eat together. We can laugh together. We could feel together. We could cry together. You could be a shoulder to lean on. When you do set up a space and you really get in touch with your ancestors, your loved ones, whatever verbiage you like to use, you genuinely realize how limiting the human language is. Energy is truly the way that we communicate. They write, so I put you on the altar, stay just a little bit longer, laid it out for you. I thought I felt you before, but now you're closer, which is exactly what I was just touching on and what they've been touching on with this whole theme of the album. 10th song of the album is going to be Melt, and I am so glad that they just made their relationship public. So Kehlani is with 070 Shake, also known as Danny. Her page just says Danny Moon. That would be a dope ass last name, but it's probably not that. Anyways, they recorded a music video when they're in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And it is so beautiful. I feel they definitely shot it on film, I'm pretty sure. I don't know Kehlani like that. I'm just giving this like an example. It feels like, you know, when you've seen somebody who has just gone through so much shit and you see them become happy and like really happy. Not like you look happy, it's like, wow. Like it's one of those relationships where you sit back and you're like, enough said. I don't need to wonder if they're happy. I know. It's just, and I believe everyone deserves that, so I'm super happy for them. It's so beautifully written. Like I said, her lyricism throughout the whole entire thing is immaculate. And I wrote down a few things from this song as well. If I move too quick past you, I would think it's my reflection, which, let's take a second. If I ain't have all these tattoos, I would think that it's your skin. It doesn't feel codependent. There's a difference between depending on one another for balance and becoming in sync with each other and moving like this, or kind of like DNA. Like you can move with each other, you can be at different places at different times, but you're always in sync, so you can always rely on that person. That was a great ass fucking analogy. Good job, Kira. The 11th song is going to be Tangerine, and Tangerine touches on the beauty of love, mainly in its emotional and physical aspects. I feel like there's a shift in the way people view sexuality and sex in general, period. Like there's been such this Puritan approach, but I feel like it's so important for music like this to be out here and songs like this to be out here that are really like center sex as something otherworldly and something that feels like home, and that's truly an exchange of energy. and it's nourishing in every sense of the word. Song number 13 is going to be Wandering/Wondering featuring Thundercat and Ombre. And everyone that's a feature, it feels like they're there, because you know how some artists, when they feature, it's like, oh, that's a feature. These features are features, but it seems like more of a hug. It's not like, here's an individual, I'm going to put them on a platform. It really feels like people who love them, respect them, appreciate their growth, and are really just there as a system of support. It really wraps up the album wondering about who they are and what's right for them. At the end of the day, what they really realized is like, shit, you know, sit back and just let the universe take hold for me, because that's what it's there to do. I am the universe is me. There's just so much love, support, and genuine energy in and surrounding this project. I just have nothing but admiration and respect for Kehlani and everything that they've experienced. So, amazing piece of work. If you know me, I don't give out numbers to explain the way I appreciate music. I just talk about it, and hopefully you just like hearing about it. And that's it for this Music of the Week. If you haven't by now, hopefully this album talk has convinced you to subscribe to my channel. Give it a like, give it a comment if you want to be super nice, and share with your loved ones or anybody you think would benefit from watching this, or just enjoy it as a sound in the background. Thank you so much for coming back, and I'll see you next week with some plenty goodness. Bye.